Hello, this is Jake. Today is my birthday. I turned 25, and I wanted to get on here to speak and reflect on where I've come from, where I am, and for the people I know, people I love, for people who know me. Um, there's been a lot in the last 2.5 years for me, and I feel like at a point now where I'm taking maybe another step. And I just arrived back in Tulum 2 days ago after traveling for about 5 months. Um, but take it back to when I first left Michigan and back in my life. I had grown up in Michigan and Detroit. I went to school and went to Michigan State, and I did everything I was supposed to do. I went to college. I got a job, and I had a moment where it was a year after I graduated, and um, and my lease was up actually for a place I'd rented out in Royal Oak, Michigan. And the moment came when I knew that I didn't want to stay there. The money didn't make sense. I knew I didn't want to move home. And I luckily had a job that afforded me the opportunity, without them really knowing, that I could go to Mexico and travel a bit. So what happened was I ended up going and visiting Playa del Carmen and realizing I could stay there. And after about 4 months, my work had caught on to what I was doing, and they fired me. And from that point, I was a little bit lost, and I had a decision to make at that time, where I could either go home and apply back to jobs and try to figure out, how to get this situation together, or I could stay. I could just live for the first time in my life on a beach in a beautiful town and really see what it was like for me to live, and ended up being the best decision of my life to stay and to try to figure it out that way. And I spent the next 6 months laying on the beach and doing absolutely nothing besides reading, going to cafes, and meeting people off the money I'd saved from working the previous year and a half. Basically, I was at a point in my life where I realized, maybe I never lived. Maybe I never really did anything for myself. That I was living this life where I was just waiting to live. I was just waiting to start my life. And it was the first time I was I was about maybe 22 where I felt like I was like really doing something, really starting to grow, and it wasn't even a concept I could handle. I didn't really understand what was going on, or I guess the path that I was headed was strictly off finances and building a career. And I think that's a similar maybe illusion to what we're all under, is that if we work hard enough, long enough, under the right people and right career, that we'll make it somewhere someday. And over my last few years, what I've realized is that it's all it's pretty much a game, and it's a game I didn't want to play. And I knew that once I started making money out of just I started doing rentals down in Tulum, that that I never wanted to go back. That I was never going to work for anyone again. And it leads me to where I am today. Is here I am 2 years later, where I made the finances work, but most importantly, I'm starting to know who I am more than ever and understand how and what growth is. And if you aren't growing, then you're not really doing anything. What you're doing is waiting, and waiting for life to come to you or for it to start is one of the biggest faults that any of us could do. It's something that basically we're tricking ourselves into doing to keeping ourselves safe. And what we fail to realize is that we are safe. That money is a mental game, and that this world is is how you see it. It's how you feel inside. Everything around you is going to show you exactly what you're needing to see and what you're needing to learn. And if you never go and put yourself in different situations, if you don't travel or see different cultures, meet different people, put yourself out to create a new identity, then you may be stuck forever. And that's a little bit tough to hear. But so today, 25, I want to talk about just maybe what I'm doing and my goals and what I've learned and, what's most important to me right now. And I've learned that I'm the most important thing, that I need to focus on whatever is going to bring me the most joy and peace and happiness in my life. And that has nothing to do with my parents, has nothing to do with anyone else's expectations or wishes. It doesn't have to do with the guilt and the programs and anything anyone has ever taught me. Everything I'm doing is about me and what I believe and how I can grow and learn on my own how to live this life. Not how to play play a different game or play it safe. I want to learn exactly what it is I need to do, exactly how other people work, exactly how I work, so I can live my life to the fullest every single day. How I can wake up and go put my body to the brink, put my mind to work, and put my soul and everything else at peace. And everything else in between of playing a game, of going to be around friends or be around people who aren't contributing to that growth for myself is fear. And that's something I realize more and more every day. Is who am I putting myself around because I don't want to be alone or because I want to be dependent on someone else. So that's how I've gotten to where I am in short, is that I've learned how to focus on myself. And I've learned how to learn about my emotions and learn about what's inside my body. Because if you don't put that attention on yourself, life is going to fly by and you're going to look back. You could be 30, 40, 50, and you're going to be in a relationship where you don't want, when you're settling for less than what you really deserve, and you're settling less for life than what you really could have. And for people who are my age, 20s to, in your 20s or 18, 19, finishing school, going in college, the most important thing you can do is learn how to live on your own, learn how to be in tune with yourself, what you really want, and stop listening and trying to fit in or to be around other people who are also people in fear and not wanting to be alone. So for anyone wondering how I still made it this far, why I'm back in Tulum, maybe I'm crazy, maybe my mind is in a different place, but I came back to Tulum right now to regroup. I'd spent about 5 months going back home after living away for almost 2 years and spending real time with my family, my mom, my sisters, and my friends who I love, and going and traveling around and seeing something else for the first time, being in a big city. I was in Tel Aviv for the last 3 months, just learning how to really socialize with people, because I do all this inner work and understanding, but it really means nothing if you can't go and speak to someone on the street, speak to a woman that you want to, that you're interested in, or friends, or just people that are just around. If you're still anxious and you're still afraid of other people, you can't come back with this groundedness and this love, then it really means nothing. So that's why I went to the city, and it was amazing. Met some very interesting people, connected with deeper parts of Judaism and Jewish people, and getting back to my roots. But being in Tulum is now a place for me to really build what I'm building and really spread the message that I want to spread. Because I've wanted to really share and speak to people for a while. I've learned so much. I've had days where I'm just like, have all this wisdom and knowledge that I learned, but I just didn't know how to communicate it. And now I've come such a far way that I feel like I'm in a place where I really do want to share that. And I want to help guide people in a place where they can just feel comfortable with their self in a true and authentic way, not in a way that's covering up, not in a way that's masked by fear and where there's a veil covering everything else, but in a way where people can really connect with their self. Because there's a way to do it. There's a science to really figure out your mind. And if you don't figure out the mind, then you're not going to be able to grow. Because you can work out, you can go to the gym every night, you can do everything, you can stay with this partner and do this class and do this work, but it doesn't matter if you're not growing, if you're in the same place doing the same thing, around the same people doing the same thing, wherever and just holding each other down. But it's your job to do your work so you can break out of it, and not only for the career, not only for the partner, not only for the life, but so you can feel good, so you can wake up in the morning and start to really live your life in a way that is more fitting to who you are and what you really want. And it all starts with learning how to get deeper into meditation, work with the mind, how to listen to yourself. Are you writing? Are you reading? What are you doing to really understand what's going on? And once you do that, it will apply to everything else in your life. If you want to trade, if you want to do this finance, if you want to learn this job, if you want to learn how to get this person in your life or hold this relationship, be good with your family. Doesn't matter. All of it will not work if you don't know how to work with yourself. I didn't really know what my message would be today, but I think if I could say anything and impart any wisdom and to share something about myself is you just have to understand yourself more than anything. And if you aren't doing the work to really sit and listen and to write down what's going on in your mind, your thoughts, and you aren't tracking and listening to what's you versus your subconscious, what are the dark voices in there that you are ignoring and pushing down? What are all the emotions and times in your life that you don't want to look at, but they still hurt? That's the most important thing, is to start to understand that there's something bigger than what you're doing right now. And I'm taking a step in that every day, taking another step to learning what is this life, what is more to it, how can I help myself, and how can I help other people. And that's how I've learned to enjoy life. And it was something I maybe wouldn't be able to say for a long time. And I'm very grateful. And Tulum is such a beautiful place for me. It feels like yeah, it's my home. And just walking here for the last 2 days and spending some time away, um, I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad to be in a space to share and to practice and to do my work. And yeah, for anyone listening and watching, I hope you follow along and can reach out and share anything that you're thinking, going through, wanting to know. Um, that's pretty much it. I just want to connect and to share and um, yeah, celebrate 25 years on this life. So thank you. Hope everyone has a nice day. Bye.